Hey guys, normally I don't film commissions, but the relationship dynamics are a little bit different in this one, so I think that it's okay. I kind of just wanted to share it because I've been doing some really simple cards lately, and I can't remember what I was doing before that. I know there was probably some art journaling or something, and I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, so I just wanted to film it. The commission is basically just a bit of a recreation of one of those old vintage style posters or t-shirts that you would buy at places like I think the Hard Rock Cafe does stuff like this. It was kind of like an older a gritty night scene portraying a business in a cool light. I don't know. And so somebody had the idea of doing a ice cream shop of some kind with a cool car in front of it. And I found this one to be pretty challenging actually, just because I didn't really have a perfect reference for this. I had to combine a bunch of pictures together, all of which were taken at different perspectives at the wrong time of day, and it was pretty tricky at first. Luckily, I could gather enough details to make a cohesive building, but the photos were all taken during daylight. And since the inspiration for this piece was a night scene, I suggested sort of a happy medium of sunset, which went okay, and I'm really glad it did, because as I thought about it more, I thought, I'm making this so hard for myself. I don't know what a building like this would look like at sunset, and it changes the colors that you use as well. So any colors that I would have used normally, I would have to add a lot more of a red purple kind of tone to it, lots of oranges, and I also had to put shadows where there were no shadows, or I had to reverse the direction of shadows. There was a lot to think about, and I didn't really consider it when I first took on the challenge. And one of the things that I really underestimated was painting the car. And I received a few photo references of a car that weren't perfect, and I thought, well, it's okay, I can just fill in the blanks by taking information from each photo. But the truth is, I'm not that confident with vehicles. I haven't really practiced that. I think it's one of the things that I will try to sketch sometime in the future, because it's different when you have like an animal that I've drawn a lot of times, or some other thing that I'm really familiar with. I could be able to do that, but for something like a car, I found that I was unable to do it. And I don't charge a whole lot for commissions, relatively, so I didn't really want to spend a whole lot of time practicing drawing cars over and over again, messing up and starting again. And I had tried sketching a car a couple of times, and it was okay, but it wasn't good. I was having too much trouble with it. I was having difficulty finding a perspective from two different photos that had two completely different perspectives. And I really started to second guess my ability to do this, and I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't even waste my time. Maybe I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't know. And then I thought, you know what? These photos were taken for the specific purpose of my recreating them. So why don't I just get a good one and trace it off of my computer screen? I was just going to trace it on a paper, and I was going to transfer it, and then I would just do the hard work of coloring it and getting light effects and proper tones and things, and just leave the line work to reality. I just trace the line art, draw. And while it is possible to just draw anything, because you can draw something by looking at and practicing, but I didn't have time to practice. So the thought of me just trying to recreate this photo reference given to me to replicate exactly from my mind, just so that I could prove to myself that I could do it, it just seemed like a silly waste of time to me. So yeah, I just traced the outline of the car. And yeah, I think every little step of this painting was really difficult the making of the signage, placement of it. I wanted to have some of the pieces stick out, so I did things in different layers and just stuck them on afterward. I actually really like the way that the sky and the trees turned out. I love the fact that I was able to create a sort of glow effect. I really didn't think that I knew how to do that, but apparently it worked out okay. It actually kind of looks like it's casting light, and sometimes you can kind of surprise yourself. I did practice a little bit of shadow and light on Patreon last month, so I guess that helped a little, but yeah, I'm so glad this turned out, and I'm also really glad that it didn't take extraordinarily longer than I expected. I think it probably still took longer than I expected. I haven't done the math yet, but yeah, it was really hard to invent so many things. Inventing some of the reflections off of the shiny car. I added some street signs that weren't in the reference photo, but logically should have been reflected in the windows. The shadow of the pole coming down over the car that wasn't there in the reference. I took a lot of creative liberties with the structure and the signage itself, obviously. It's always a little bit tense to try to create something that exists in somebody else's imagination. And I think that's why a lot of people sort of shy away from commission artwork. I kind of get it. I get that it takes longer because I'm being a lot more careful. There's a lot more back and forth. Finishing a little bit, sending pictures and getting approval or changes. It's definitely not me just being over here painting whatever. It's definitely more of a collaborative effort, and it's really rewarding, and I appreciate that. Even though the lighting and the angles in this one is just a little bit ambiguous. A little bit fantastic. Anyway, if you're interested in your own custom artwork, I have a listing in my shop. It's technically for pet portraits, but obviously it's turning into more than just pet portraits anyway. So I'm way open. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.